Welcome back to the Basement, the friendliest place on YouTube. I am Peter. We are in Basement Let's Play, and we are playing some Dragon Warrior today. Now, I spent just under a half an hour grinding up some money, and we have enough to purchase both the copper sword and the small shield. Now, when I buy the shield, it's just going to cost me 90, and that's that. However, when I buy the copper sword, watch what happens. The copper sword, that costs 180, I will buy your club back for 30 gold. Right? Now, you can't say no and keep both, because you only have one weapon slot in the game. And 30 is half the price that he sold it to you for. So, that's kind of just a nice discount. If you already have the club, you get 30 gold off the copper sword. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and instead of leaving us with no gold, it leaves us with a little gold. And what we're going to do with that little bit of gold is something I probably should have done in episode 1, but it's okay. It really didn't take too long. I know a half an hour of just grinding is like, ugh. And when I was a kid, I definitely just did it. But these days, I can, listen to a podcast while I grind. Okay, we're going to buy the dragon scale. And we don't need anything else for now. Okay, so we're down to 18 gold, so dying right now would not be a huge deal. We're going to go into our item list and click on the dragon scale. So Boopin donned the scale of the dragon. What that does is that bumps your defense up, excuse me, by 2, and it's permanent, and it doesn't conflict with your armor or anything, which is great. So here's our status. We're up to strength 13, agility 10, HP 34, MP 20. It grew from 5 to 16, I think, when we went from level 3 to level 4. Attack power 23, defense power 15. Okay, that defense is affected by the armor, which is leather armor, by the shield, which is a small shield. They're both it's like 2 defense buff slots. But you can only put armors in the armor and only shields in the shield. And then weapon just ups your attack power. And copper sword, that's the best we can do in this town for now. If we look at our spells, you can see we've learned hurt. Hurt costs 2 MP, so we can cast it a lot, and it hurts things like magicians and magic drakies and some other a little more difficult enemies that we might encounter. More than our physical attacks can at this point. Heal again costs 4 MP. And what we're ready to do now is venture to the next town. So we're going to do that, and the way that we get there, this will be town number 2 in sort of the... Oh, look, the slime ran away. That's how afraid he is. Now, if anyone wants to know where I did my grinding, I definitely did it in that desert in the top left corner of the screen right now. Also, we're 19 experience away from the next level, so I expect to go up a level during the episode today. Ghosts are a good thing to find because we can usually kill them in one hit, and they give us 3 experience and 4 gold instead of the slimes, which typically give us 1 experience and 1 or 2 gold. So what we do is we go north to the coast here, and then we follow it west. And I'm trying to stick to the grass so that I reduce the number of random encounters that I have, which just keeps things moving more quickly. However, we're having a lot of encounters anyway, and that is quite a thing. You can see how we're further away from home and this cheap inn and the place where we can heal ourselves and get more MP for free, which the further you get, the more dangerous and adventurous it sort of feels. And the enemies are tougher when you're further away, and now here's a town, and it's like, oh man, and if you push it and you get there at a low level, it definitely feels like harrowing because it's hard to pull off. Garen, a wandering minstrel of legendary fame, is said to have built this town. Well, that makes sense to me. I deal in tools. What can I do for the, let's see, herb, torch, and dragon scale. All the same stuff for the same prices. Now, you gotta watch out for these NPCs that walk around because they can definitely block your path, prevent you from getting into a small room or getting out of that room until they wander away of their own volition, and that can be a little frustrating, so keep that in mind when you're navigating the world. Many believe that Princess Gwaelin is hidden away in a cave. Huh, well. Spoiler alert, many who believe that are correct. I have heard of one named Nestor. Does thou know such a one? This is a callback to like Nintendo Power, and there was actually a Nestor cartoon. Google it if you're curious. Okay, here's the armor shop. Let's see what our available upgrades are and how much they'll cost. We have the club and the copper sword, which we currently have, and the club we just sold, and a hand axe for $560. So that's an upgrade, but quite a bit more money. Leather armor we have now. The chainmail is 3,000, or 300, excuse me. The half plate is 1,000, and the large shield is 800. So we need some money to upgrade. What we'll probably do is go cheapest to most expensive, right? So we'll grind for 300 gold, get the chainmail, and then the grinding should be easier because we have better defense. We'll grind 560 and get the hand axe, and then we'll have more power and we can grind some more, which should be easier yet until we can get the large shield. And then our defense will go way up and we can progress to more difficult enemies. So you can see it's just very sequential, very foundational, but this was a very early game. And man, I really enjoyed it when I was a kid. Okay, welcome to Garenham. May thy stay be a peaceful one. Well, thank you. It is said that princess was kidnapped and taken eastward. Okay, so we're getting some clues here. Now, okay, that NPC almost prevented me from getting into the inn. I just want to see, wow, 25 gold per night. No, thank you. I'll take my chances. Okay, there's this locked door there to the right, and that's blocking off like the whole north end of the town, and we can't even see what's in there. So that should be creating some curiosity for us. Ooh, here's a magician. Okay, let's see what a regular attack does. We could do 5 against the magician, and they can only do 2 against us. But if we cast hurt, we lose 2 MP, and we do 6 damage. So, not that much better, but I do think 5 is probably on the high end of the damage we can do, and 6 is on the low end with the copper sword, and 6 is on the low end of the damage that we can do with hurt. So, we've got some grinding to do for money to get those upgrades. But they are hinting at next steps here. A cave to the east. That is what they want us to go for in order to look for the princess who was kidnapped. Oh, look, here we go, another level. Let's see what we get. Courage and wit have served thee well, Boopin. Thou hast been promoted to the next level. Thy power increases by 4. Thy maximum hit points increase by 3. So we'll do more damage. We can take more damage. Our magic points have increased by 4, which means we can cast another cast of heal or 2 more of hurt. And that's it for the upgrade for now. So we'll probably want to save when we can. Saving, okay, Magic Drakey. Let's see what we do here. I do 6 with the copper sword. He chants hurt and does 6 to me. If I chant hurt, let's see what we do to him. 6, okay. So we may as well, now he just hit me and did 2. So I'm going to hit him with my sword, and that should be enough. Now my current hit points are 24, and I want to see what my maximum is by looking at my status. It's 37. So if I cast heal right now, it might cap me at 13. Right, so maybe that could have done a little more if I were trying very hard to be optimal, but I'm not too worried about it. As I was saying earlier, the saving process could be a bit tedious in the old days, because you'd have to walk to the castle and talk to the king. Look at that, 5 experience and 10 gold. We're cooking now. We're gaining experience and gold faster than we were before, so the idea of getting 300 gold for the chainmail or 560 for the hand axe is a little less intimidating than it would be otherwise. Because we should be able to accrue money faster. Wow, the Magic Drakey attacked before I was ready. Anyway, as I was saying, going back to the castle and talking to the king every time you wanted to heal was a bit tedious back in the day. Hey, an excellent move! Wow, we just did 24 points of damage. That is a new record for Boopin. And we're going to cast heal. We've got 2 more left after this chanting. We're at 35 HP. Ooh, the Magician attacked before we were ready and cast the spell of Hurt. I'm glad we just healed. Glad we have 28 right now instead of 21. His regular attack, though, can only do 1, so he's kind of a joke per our defense. Ooh, now here's a Scorpion. They've got good defense and good attack power. They just got us for 3. Oh, but we did an excellent move. 25 hit points. Another new record for Boopin. And I'm not going to cast Heal just yet. I'll do it after the next battle. So there's actually the grinding and the fighting is a little bit remarkable, which is why I'm making remarks on it and not finishing my why saving is tedious spiel. But while I'm healing up, I will attempt to do that again. 29, I think we can stick with 29 for a minute. Oh, but the Magic Drakey got the first attack, but it was only worth 1. Because his raw attack power is not very good against our defense. He needs to use magic. But yeah, going to the king and talking and saving and then going back out on your journey, it's a bit of a process. And so if you have the ability to play this in such a way that you can save state, that does help with the game, because you can actually find yourself in rough shape and not knowing whether or not to go back and save or to continue. It's less of a question when you can save state, because when you're right on that cusp, then you can push it. You can be a little risky, and if it doesn't work out for you, you can load state and try again, or you can load state and just run back to Tanagal Castle and use the free inn, i.e. the guy who restores your magic points for free. And that is a good way to go. But you know, back when this game was new and it was $50 or whatever, in the 80s, $40, I don't know what the original MSRP was back when it came out. I do know that Nintendo was like, we're not selling this very well, and as many of you probably already know. But in case, you know, those of you who don't, you may find this interesting. Nintendo gave a free copy of Dragon Warrior to everyone who started a new subscription to Nintendo Power Magazine. And I think they moved like hundreds of thousands of carts because of that deal, and got hundreds of thousands of new subscriptions. Which was probably worth it, because they'd already gone through the cost of making the cartridges, and at that point they're just sitting there, right? And if they're not selling, it's like, well, moving them for cheap is better than letting them sit unsold for $0 gained per. Okay, we gotta get back, because we're down to 13 HP and no MP. Now we're down to 12. But the enemies should be easier from here back to safety. And in fact, some of them might run away, like that red slime just did. So that was a pretty successful little bout of grinding, and it kind of gives you guys a flavor for what that's about. We could try and push and go for the next area, which maybe that's not a bad idea. Let's talk to this guy and get our MP restored. And then let's cast Heal until our HP is fully restored. Whoops. Didn't want to talk. I wanted to heal. 34. I think we have more than that. 37. Okay. Boom. So now we're maxed out. And since we're in Tentacle Castle, we may as well just go and talk to the king and save on the Imperial Scrolls. There's no one there. That's true. I have talked to those stairs many a time over the course of my multiple playthroughs of this game. I'm greatly pleased that thou hast returned, Boopin. Before reaching thy next level of experience, thou must gain 162 points of experience. So let's figure this out. That's going to be 450. Right? 440, 450. Yep. Well, thou tellest me now, thou, thine of deedeth, so that they won't be forgotten? Sure. I like the Old English. Yes, we want to continue on our quest. Goodbye now, Boopin. Take care and tempt not the fates. With a capital F. I don't know, it's just... it's romantic in not the like ooh la la sort of way, but like the days of yore. Back when the world was simple and good and evil, the line between good and evil was clearly drawn, and yada yada yada. Okay, so now some of you may notice this cave down here that's meant to spur our curiosity. There's some gold in that cave and some difficult enemies in that cave, and I definitely want to go down there, but I'm thinking I might want to wait until we've upgraded our stuff. So, that said, it's probably grind time again, but I don't think we've got a full episode of Basement Let's Play here. So maybe I will just skip the grind or time-lapse it. But when we have enough gold to make a purchase, which I think 300 is our next goal, I'll come back in and we'll go make that purchase together. So I'll see you in a bit. Alright, we're up to 299 gold, and I figure I could leave this desert area and start walking toward the next town. And now we're at 301. I knew that we wouldn't make it all the way there without raising the appropriate amount of funds. It's too bad you can't sell your previous equipment for half price before you buy the next thing. At least I think you can. Let's test that out, actually. But now that we have 300, we're able to do an upgrade, and of course this NPC is just going to stand in the way. Come on. Nope. Look at him. Wasting our time. Go. There you go. Sell. Yeah, you can only sell... you can't sell your current weapon or shield or armor. Well, no, you don't have to wait long, because my next visit is instantly. I want to buy... This is the wrong guy anyway. So maybe I'm wrong about selling former equipment. Let's find out. Talk. Yeah, does thou wish to buy anything today? Okay, so sell does not really seem to be an option. Okay, we're gonna get the chainmail. For 35 gold, is that okay? I want to see... Oh yes, that's too bad. I said no, because I want to see what our current status is. Our defense power is 15. So let's see what this 300 gold does for us. Keep in mind, we're not just gaining the chainmail, but we're also losing the leather armor. Right, so it goes from 15 down to whatever, 10, and then up to whatever we have now. So let's check our status. And now we're at 21. So that's 6 up from 15, which is significant. 40% increase. So now that we've done that, the old method of grinding no longer feels very viable. What we're going to do is we're going to stop by Tentacle Castle, heal up, refill our magic points, and then try to push a little further away. I'm not sure if I want to go north to the shoreline and then east instead of west, since we've been hinted at that east is where the princess is. Or if I want to go west from here and then south to see if I can approach that cave that we can see down south here. So it's just off screen right now, south and west a little bit of there. I'm thinking maybe toward the cave, although we're not going to make it because we're not leveled enough, I don't believe, to do that. I am kind of guessing here. I'm not a Dragon Warrior expert. Okay, we're going to fill up our MP. I did this inefficiently. I probably should have just cast heal a few times and then talked to him. And in fact, there we are already at our maximum, right? 37? Yeah. So we'll talk to him again, get our MP back. The most efficient way to do it is just to cast heal before you talk to him and get to max HP if you can, if you have enough MP to do that. But I wasn't thinking about the best way to do it. I was just pressing buttons because I'm in Dragon Warrior grind mode. Okay, we got to get around these gray mountains and then head west. I'm going to skip those hills, those golden hills, because I do not want to get caught by lesser foes. Okay, now here we have a high encounter rate just across a bridge. And a magician is an enemy that we're used to, that we can hurt without much effort, kill without much effort, although we did take 7 HP damage. But I want to see if we run into something a little more ferocious. Oh, excellent move, 22. We did have an excellent move during the last grinding session off camera. That was 27, which is our new record for booping. It's kind of fun to sort of mentally keep track of what your maximum damage you've ever caused is, because every time you exceed that, you can have a happy little moment where you realize that you're getting stronger. I want to run into something we haven't seen yet. So far it seems to be magicians and magidrakes and lesser enemies. And I'm wondering if we're going to eventually run into a scorpion in this area as well. So maybe we don't need to be so afraid and stick so close to the bridge. Now let's see what's east of here. More hills, just kind of a dead end. It's a good spot to wander around to grind, I suppose. Now let's see if we can get a little further away. See what's down south here. By the way, I love the sort of grid approach to each square of the map. You know, you could recreate this in Minecraft pretty easily. It's so square. What I like about it is just the effort that the developers, designers put into trying to make it seem natural. Like the coastline has some curve to it, and the grasslands transition into forest sometimes, or into hills sometimes, or into forest then hills sometimes. And they're trying to draw curves as best they can. But again, it's not exactly doable in the NES days. So the curves take a little bit of imagination, but isn't that what gaming is sort of about? Is imagination, right? Especially in the early days. But then also, of course, it wasn't as much about imagination for these old games as it is now, because this was as advanced as graphics got back then. So I don't know, I think there's a certain charm lost or not fully realized by those who didn't grow up in this era. But I can remember grinding here as a kid, just sort of circling the marsh. If we don't run into anything new here, though, I am gonna push just a little further. We're taking damage, and we're, you know, not a ton, but our MP will slowly drain over time as we continue to attempt this. Here's this. Now, we don't have a torch. We can't go north. We can go east. It's just a regular magician. Okay, that's not too bad. So maybe in here would be a good place for us to grind, depending on what's all in here. When you hit a wall, it makes that bumping noise. So now I'm just headed back west. There's the stairs again. And we can't head south. So that's all the more I'm going to explore in there for now. Because, again, like I said, we don't have any torches. We don't have the Radiant spell, which I do hope we'll learn soon. Oh, wow, a Scorpion in one hit with an excellent move of 21. Not bad, not bad. That's probably a record against Scorpions for booping. It is funny when you get way leveled up, though, and you hit a slime. Oh, a skeleton. The skeleton attacked before I was ready and did 8 damage. I only did 4. He did 7. Let's try hurt. Okay, 9. He did 7. He could kill me with the next hit. I did 5. He did 7. He killed me. So that's going to cost us half our gold and set us back. Thou art dead. I was just deciding whether or not to keep that. But to cost us 75 gold is not a huge deal. It's a bummer, but I'd rather keep the experience we gained. Because there does come a point in the game where gold is... Let's see, do I have full stats now? I do. Where gold is fairly pointless because you're upgraded. But experience is yet to be gained. The game does have an experience cap, but you'll get there long after you get to full upgraded gear, assuming you don't have an excessive amount of deaths when you're really high on gold. Now, without a save state to rescue you, that can actually be quite upsetting if you have, you know, thousands of pieces of gold and you lose it. It stung a little to lose 150 here, but that's mostly because the most ferocious enemies we can handle are the ones that give us like 10 gold. So it's like 15 magicians worth of gold, right? And gold is our early hurdle to upgrade. Experience is our later hurdle. Because you get experience as you get gold anyway. So it's beneficial to grind for a couple of reasons. One, for the obvious reason of buying, you know, when you buy something, it's an instant upgrade. When you slowly get experience, it's incremental upgrades over time. Let's see if I get down to 20. That's my rule right now. If I get down to 20 HP, I cast heal. And now we have our chance. 21's not quite low enough, although I suppose we could do 21. I'd hate to run into a skeleton when I only have 21 HP. I will have wished I cast heal before entering. Up to 30, yep. We'll keep it for now. So will I run into skeletons before getting close to the swamp? Are the skeletons rare? Can they happen closer to the bridge? That I don't know. But now that we're down some gold, it hurts less to die. With every death, the risk of death goes down. You know, a death now would only cost us 60 or so gold. So, something to keep in mind. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to circle this swamp until we get 560 gold and can go buy the hand axe, and then I'll come back to you guys and we'll do that. Ooh, we just went up a level here. Didn't take long. About 2 enemies after I told you guys I'd be back later. Power increases by 2. Response speed increases by 7. That means it's more likely that we will dodge attacks and less likely that enemies will hit us before we're ready. We should get the first hit more often. For anyway, enemies we've already faced, whose stats we've already experienced. Maximum hit points only increased by 2, maximum magic points increased by 2, and we've learned a new spell. Let's see what it is. It's sleep. So now we can theoretically put enemies to sleep, which is quite exciting. So going up a level is significant, but I'm going to keep grinding, and I'll join you guys either when we have enough money to go upgrade, or if something else remarkable happens. Ooh, a skeleton. The skeleton attacked before we were ready, brought us down to 30. Let's see what we can do here. I'm just gonna trade hits back and forth, try to cause as much damage as I can. I'm wondering if I should cast heal a couple of times here. I'm gonna cast heal 2 times in a row. We're left with only 4 MP at this point, but now we can do some attacking. Okay, we defeated him. 11 experience and 23 gold. So that's a new event for us, a new event for Boopin here. Pretty cool. Alrighty, I've got 560 gold. Our current attack power is 29, and we're gonna see what happens when we upgrade to the hand axe. So our gold reduces from 579 down to 19, and then up to 109 with the selling of the copper sword for 90, which again is half of what we paid for it, and I said yes even though I don't want to. Okay, so status. So what we were at before, 29, now we're at 34. So, 5 more attack power with the hand axe. Now we've got that and the chainmail. Those are our 2 upgrades here. Let's see what else we have. We've got the half plate, which is armor, and we've got the large shield, which is an upgraded shield. So if we want to do both of those, we're going to need 1,800 gold, and we're only at 100. So we've got a ways to go. So that's going to be the end of this episode, and what my plan will be is to do some off-screen grinding, and I will either have 800 or 1,000 or 1,800 at the beginning of episode 3, and we'll do an upgrade or 2. And then we'll push a little further. If we can get the Radiant spell, or a few torches, but I'd really like to wait for the Radiant spell, then we'll go into that cave. And if not, then I think we'll go to town number 3 and try to do some grinding outside of there. And we'll probably just use the expensive inn that's there as well, instead of traveling all the way back to Tentacle Castle. We'll see how far away it is. The next town is to the east, and north of Tentacle Castle. So, yeah, we'll play it by ear. But, thank you very much for joining me today, and I will look forward to seeing you guys in the next one, in the basement.